welcome to the Groff Show podcast, another episode. Biggest guest we've had on the show. I'm shocked even this person even said yes. Former Elite 11 quarterback, former Notre Dame, Florida quarterback. He's excelled on the field, transitioned his way to on-air talent with Overtime Sports, and now he's the CBS Sports color commentator and analyst, true underdog. Please welcome Malik Zaire. I can't even believe I just said that. Like, crazy.
No, man, I appreciate you for having me, man. It's I saw that you had reached out, and I love giving our guys an opportunity to get on the airwaves. I mean, I'm in the same line of work almost, and
yeah,
it's good to see the hustle going.
What's the current state of Malik Zaire? Like, what's it been like living in LA? What's the current state? I think you have a girlfriend, wife, fiance.
Yeah, I got a girlfriend. We live out here in LA, and the current state is just every day we looking to prevail in something. We waking up, working on different projects, getting ready for media this year with college football, and man, it's just exciting to be out here in some good weather on more than just a couple months out of the year.
Yeah, was it a culture shock moving to LA, or how was that?
As a Midwest guy, LA is super different, man.
Yeah.
You meet a whole bunch of different people out here, but you hear all the stories for a reason. It's definitely, you can find what you want out here in LA. But as always, a Midwest kid, I'm not too accustomed, but I find my place here and there.
Yeah, I got you. Yeah, my mom's from Michigan and my dad's actually from South Bend. So
wow, okay.
Kind of a small world. Yeah. So my connection with Notre Dame is like, I've been a huge fan, like whole life, born and raised. I was actually raised in Arizona. That's why I got,
nice.
The Suns hat and stuff like that. Yeah. But so I went to a camp my sophomore year. Got really close with Drue Tranquill, which you know him too.
Yeah,
great dude. It's crazy because so his like Bible school teacher, whatever, at Notre Dame was my mom's Bible school teacher, like in a small town in Michigan. So that was a connection we had, and ever since that we've been like in constant communication and stuff like that. So I didn't know if you had any like funny Drue Tranquill stories or anything like that to start off with.
Drew's a real serious man. I compare him more than Tim Tebow. I don't think he's got some good laughter in him, but I don't know about the jokes. But I know his brother went to Western Michigan, so
yeah,
there was probably some ties up there. But Drew's a great guy, man, with the Chargers, and it's crazy, a guy like that can bounce back from so much, and he's living a great life right now. So
yeah. So how did the whole Notre Dame thing happen? You coming to Notre Dame, and then how is it, I guess, having Brian Kelly as your coach too?
Coming to Notre Dame, man, he just wanted to be the best quarterback in the country. And at that time, Notre Dame had just went to the national championship versus Bama, even though we didn't win. But after that game, I was like, oh, they must just be missing me, so that just made it even more exciting to go there as an early enrollee. This is like the first time they were doing that stuff. So I got a chance to go in with early enrollee guys, and from day one, man, Coach Kelly is what you see on TV, man. He's a great person to organize a team structure, and he's done a tremendous underrated job from the continual success over the amount of years, because it's not easy to win, at this point, 9, 10 games a season. So, a lot of credit to him, but we've had a lot of great coaches while I was there. I mean, Matt Lefleur was my quarterback coach and a big part of my launching career. So to see him do his thing with Aaron Rodgers on another level.
Yeah. Small world about that, which is crazy. Matt LeFleur's dad coached my dad in college. So kind of a small world connection thing like that. But he was a cornerbacks coach at Central Michigan. So that's kind of like our connection with them too. But yeah.
Yeah, LeFleur, man. I mean, you talking about a guy that works hard. I mean, his brother coaches, so I'm sure it's all in the family tree.
And what was like your favorite game, I guess, that you played in?
It was great. My favorite moment was probably the Florida State game, just because I grew up liking Florida State. Just the tradition and the culture that they had. I just thought it was a great college football place.
Yeah.
And then Jameis ended up going there, so I was like, dang, if I don't go there, I want to play against Florida State. And then we got a chance to play that great game down there.
That was such a good game. Oh my gosh.
Another classic Notre Dame game. You know, at that point in our 10-year era, it was just we were losing all the super, super, super close games. So it was like it was just great to watch, but it was always heartbreaking at the end.
Yeah.
But just the environment from getting off the bus to just that was being my favorite team and them being so good at the time.
Mm.
I mean, that just combined to be my favorite experience. And I almost got in, but Ev had went out and Florida State had like the longest drive the whole game. It was like something ridiculous, like 8 fucking minutes.
Oh my gosh.
So I literally waited the longest. Like I'm thinking I'm in the next punt.
Yeah.
I ended up having this super long drive and Ev came back out, but
Damn.
man, that would have kicked off another good start to what I was going on.
Were you there when you guys played Clemson too? That game was crazy too.
Yeah, 2 games before that I got hurt, so
Damn.
I was definitely not missing it. And if I played, who knows? It could have been a different Deshaun Watson career.
Yeah, hey, you never know. How was the quarterback room and your relationship with like Everett and then Deshaun Kizer and stuff? Like, are those dudes that you still keep in contact with? Like, how was your relationship with those dudes when you were there?
Yeah, I mean, it's competitive. Like I said, at that point, throughout just those years, I mean, from top to bottom, it was just a huge tension in the quarterback room just because everybody wants to play and, everybody realized how good we could be. And, with the right person holding the ball, I mean, some really special things could take place. So obviously that plays a huge factor in at that level of football because everybody wants to be in that one spot and only one guy can play. So it was as competitive as you could imagine, but on that level, you really don't control it much. So you really learn to just start competing with yourself and still being a good teammate, even if the things that you don't want happens, because it's not about being the best. It's just about being the most available.
Yeah, I remember. I think was it 2015 where you was it your ankle that you hurt and stuff like that. And then I saw the Showtime clip because Showtime was like filming you guys that year or whatever. And you were doing things outside of playing because you couldn't play because you were hurt. Like, what brought you and what drove you to be that kind of person for Kizer, even though you could have been the selfish guy, like, hey, like I'm not playing, like screw you, do your own thing.
Well, it's just about the opportunity you get, man. You can't really hate on another man's chance of succeeding in that period. So my whole thing was just, how do I still get better during the time I can't physically be out there and being a good teammate on and off the field? And I end up getting more into coaching and which, I ended up coaching the girls basketball football team. So that was cool.
Oh, wow. That's
cool.
And who are some teammates that you still keep in touch with? Because I know like knowing like the college football team and stuff, like everyone's super close. I mean, it's like a year-round thing like that. So who are some guys that you still keep in touch with?
Keep in touch with CJ Procise. I mean, he just got his Super Bowl ring with Tampa. That's my guy.
That's dope.
Talking to Ronnie, Ronnie blocked for me, but also Ronnie's a good dude. I kicked it with him a lot. I mean, I really keep in touch with a lot of the guys, more than you would with a normal football team. I think just because we were all really close, and Notre Dame does a great job of recruiting some really solid guys too. So a lot of guys with some great characteristics and good quality. So I really keep up with a good percentage of my guys that I graduated with and played with at school.
Yeah, I got you. One of the traditions that not a lot of people know about, but when you were playing there, that I guess viewed on YouTube and stuff like that, was Trick Shot Monday. And I don't know if they still do it at Notre Dame, but kind of talk about how that start and what was like the best thing about it, I guess, from your perspective, because I thought it was pretty cool, like watching the videos and stuff like that. Like I grew up watching those. So
yeah, I mean, that was one of the first things. I mean, that's when we started expanding the media, social media stuff. We was breaking all that stuff in, so we was coming up with ideas and stuff. And one day, a group of guys got together, and it was really, Torrey Hunter was a big part of that, and Drew was in there, and they tried to make it fun. Romeo was in there. Corey Robinson did a few. So what was cool is that it was right after practice. So the funniest part was trying to find people to want to do it. as the season went on, because everybody's like trying to get to where they're going throughout the
Yeah.
season. But when they did get together, I mean, they would be breaking it out anywhere, and
Yeah.
fill it a hallway and training table in the players' lounge, wherever they were just
That's
trying
so
to get it
sick.
in. So it was cool because it's like a flash mob
Mhm.
at the practice almost.
Did you make a shot? Did you have any
I
good
took a
shots or
couple
anything like
shots,
that?
but
Or
them boys be there too long. I had to get places. I wasn't trying to be there all day.
as we transition to where you ended up after that, what was your decision? Why did you leave Notre Dame? And then how was it being in the transfer portal? I mean, you're basically, I'll let you talk about it and stuff
Yeah,
like
I
that.
mean,
But
at that point I had graduated, so I mean, I already got my degree. I was there for three or so years, 3 or 4 years. So have an opportunity to do another whole recruitment, like fresh out of, coming back from when I first came into school. It was cool
yeah,
because it's like not too many times you get to restart and go anywhere you want for a year. So I thought it would be the best decision for me at that time and get a fresh start and, get in warmer weather.
yeah, Midwest sucks. So what were your top options for where you wanted to transfer? Obviously, you picked Florida, but what were some other teams that you're looking at too?
I really liked Wisconsin. I took a visit up there. I should have um, probably considered it more, but Wisconsin was big. I had a chance to go to Michigan, chance to go to Texas, um, and really, I didn't even let it play out that much, just because I knew I wanted to go to Florida at the time. But
Mm,
it did feel good to get a whole second chance, being a lot better and knowing what college is like doing another recruitment. So
yeah,
getting a chance to do that, two big time schools and playing for both,
yeah,
it's probably a better story at the end of the day.
mm,
Florida was a good experience, just to say I played in the SEC and at a good spot, and to see how it's different from a school like Notre Dame, and it's two different worlds, but you get to appreciate college football at a really high level, being able to do that. So I think that helped me transition to a lot of different things when I was done playing. But while I was playing, I mean, I know a lot of people now from playing with them or against them.
mm,
Being at Notre Dame for 4 years and being at Florida, pretty much seeing all you can see in college football, from
yeah,
stadiums to players in the NFL now to guys coming up. So I got a good demographic of the landscape of college football at that
mm,
time. And just being a football fan, getting to play in the swamp and at Notre Dame and at Florida.
yeah.
I mean, not many people can say that. So
Mm.
a good chance to have an experience like that.
What advice do you have for people, I guess, for bouncing back from adversity?
You got to have a strong mental ability to know that you can get through things and that it's not going to last forever, and it's hard when things don't go your way. But I think if anything, you have to prove it to yourself more than anybody that you can just laser focus in on what you really want in life, and it'll come through the process of what you put in. And if it doesn't always happen right away, that's just because it hasn't happened. So you have to figure out what you can do better, or maybe it's not the right path for you. I mean, that's okay too. If there's you only got one life, and in that life you want to see as much as you can accomplish, and see what you can catch on to.
So when you decided to hang up the cleats and step in front of the camera, where did the love for, I guess, being in front of the camera and being involved in sports media come from?
It just kind of grows in you, playing sports your whole life, and you're watching people on the TV talk about people playing, and then eventually you become one of those people. And it's probably what, like, the the natural progression of a quarterback. You
Yeah.
transition to playing to talking about it to coaching at some point. So that was just the path that mine chose to take.
So how did you, for people who don't know what overtime is, what is overtime? And then how did you get involved with that at an early time when it was like developing?
So overtime is like the ESPN of digital content on your phone, and
Yeah.
that's and on YouTube and stuff. So it just shows the highlights that half of sports is entertainment and story building, and overtime was one of the first to really create that or manifest that idea into a culture, and it's turned into even now a basketball league where they paying guys a lot of money. So
Yeah.
I think it's like one of those, why did I think of this earlier? But it takes a lot of money to do stuff like that. So uh got a great opportunity to do it in this early development of the football stage, and um seeing how it's grown now, and all the people that want to work there now and ask me how do you do it is just, it's kind of cool. So
Yeah.
I still wear my gear, and they still doing well.
So where were they at the time that you joined, like numbers wise and stuff? Was it super small and kind of rising and stuff, or what was the?
It definitely was on the rise, but it was had a heavy focus in basketball because that was its way in, and football was coming up. It wasn't where it is now by no means, but from then and now, I mean, we put TV shows together and covered, Jalen Suggs on football, and he ended up being drafted in the NBA pretty high.
Yeah.
So we've definitely covered a good amount of ground from an entertainment and content standpoint with football, and now it's just running itself almost to where they don't even have to work that hard. People just send them stuff. So
Yeah. One thing I loved about watching those videos is how you interviewed and like would challenge top high school recruits and stuff like in games. And then like it showed your personality more and you weren't afraid to like laugh at yourself. What was your favorite video you were involved in? Your favorite game and stuff that you did?
oh man, just probably just working with Spencer Rattler actually. We had a mountain shot, and it was just like a ridiculous angle and height and everything. And
Yeah.
the fact that he did it within 5 or 6 minutes, it was pretty mind blowing. So for a high school kid to just impress me like that, I mean, he's impressing people now at Oklahoma, but
Yeah.
just to be able to be in the forefront of what he's probably gonna get all this attention in his last year going to the league, but it was pretty cool.
So how did the transition to CBS Sports come to about? How did that job come into place? Was it you came there immediately from overtime, I'm assuming, because was overtime your first gig?
Yeah, it all kind of just worked in conjunction, man, and uh, it's just luck, man. If I had to, somebody asked me, how do you do it? You just gotta. It's just lucky, man. I don't know. I mean, if they want you, they'll find you and find a way to call you. So I guess I was just doing a good job in overtime and transition. And what you learn in entertainment is once one thing happens, it just kind of keeps rolling, and you got to catch it when it's hot.
What were some of the bumps early in your career at CBS Sports when you did color commentating or even in the studio? What were some bumps that were kind of hard for you to work on at first?
Just being, I mean, nothing really. It's just a job, man. I mean, when you playing football at that level, it's not too many things that could really make you nervous for real. If you just openly communicating and you discipline yourself and you enjoy the moment. I'm like, you get to be on TV, so who
Yeah.
doesn't enjoy that, right? So
Yeah.
you just want to make the most out of it while you're in that space.
What were some things I guess that you learned on the fly? Some things that you were just natural at, you think, for
Well, they don't really tell you how to do the job, surprisingly
mm,
enough. Like I thought it was gonna be a bunch of guidelines and rules. You're the expert, so they couldn't really tell you necessarily what to say. So there's a lot of independent study that you have to do. And being that I was pretty dedicated in learning about football as I was there and talking to coaches and talking to players and learning terminology and stuff as a quarterback,
mm.
it made the transition a lot easier for me. And other than that, I mean, I took an acting class in college. So
Oh
speaking of
wow.
kind of helped me do that. So
read that you have your own whiskey company as well. Is that something that you're invested
Yeah.
in as well?
So I got my own whiskey, the Lucky
That's
Lefty.
so sick.
Actually, right here,
Ooh.
it's your Lucky Lefty, Onora whiskey, California, Florida, and coming to Texas soon.
Wow.
But I got into the bourbon game through relationship building and networking, and trying to be doing different stuff. Man, there's not too many people got their own alcohol, so
Yeah.
continuing to extend that list of first and not too oftens, and I feel like I'm gonna come up on something that I really, really enjoy, and I'm gonna just keep chasing that lane.
So how long did it take to create your own whiskey? Was it something that you had to make or talk to people and taste tests and stuff like that? How long did it take to?
Man, it's an ongoing process, but
Yeah.
it's nothing is built over a week or a day. So
Mm.
it's been a lot of learning too, because I didn't grow up wanting my own alcohol. So every day you get to learn a little bit more and find how you can add value to where my influence can be with alcohol, and just to have my name on it with the Lucky Lefty, it just kind of grew on me. So maybe Lucky Lefty come from me being lucky. I don't know. It's not
Yeah.
too many people that you can.
Little Notre Dame luck as well.
Yeah, it's not too
That's
often you
awesome.
just walk into some situations, but
Yeah.
it goes back to involving yourself around people that may not even have a direct connection to what can help you, but they may know somebody. So
Mhm.
never forget, network building is everything.
I got you. So I have some special questions because you're a college football analyst. So I want to hear your opinion on these exclusively. Who are some breakout, as you look at this next season, who are some breakout college guys and quarterbacks that you think can be some top NFL dudes? Like, who are some dudes on your radar coming into
I
this
really
season?
like Kevin Marks Jr. out of Buffalo, running back. I
Okay.
think he's going to be one of the top running backs coming out of the class. Even though he's at Buffalo, he probably won't be top 5, but he's definitely one of the top 5 most talented backs
Yeah.
to be on the lookout for. And then, I mean, Spencer Rattler, I'm expecting him to be in Heisman contention this year and damn near win it. Big fan. And then, man, I mean, college football is pretty straightforward. There's a lot of people out there, but I think the closer we get to mid-season is where you find the stars at, because everybody has a hot start.
Yeah. Who's your early CFP predictions for next year?
Ohio State, Clemson, Bama, and then whoever else can fit in that 4th spot.
Yeah. Pretty much it's like 3, and then everyone else is just
And everyone else is just
for the 4th spot.
trying to play along. Now, I think Florida would be pretty good, actually. Dan Mullen's a great coach. He's another 9-10 win type of guy. So provided with the good quarterback play, you get pretty far.
I think Georgia could be pretty good too.
Yeah, I mean, Georgia
JT
always got those great talented receivers. George Pickens, one of the, if not the best receiver. I got to work with him in overtime.
Oh wow.
My favorite receiver, in the class this far, and I think he's clearly the best receiver out there, and hopefully he stays healthy and can get that top receiver spot in the draft next year.
Yeah. Also, I wanted to talk about what are your thoughts on the whole NIL passing? I know that's a big thing going on right now. And then on to that, what are your thoughts, I guess, on high school kids leaving early? I know Quinn Ewers yesterday left for Ohio State. So what are your thoughts on that and kind of the new era in college football?
Yeah, I think it's just becoming more of like like how soccer is in Europe. It's just going to turn into a big club, and then you go to school if you want to, kind of thing, just because the money, especially with the NIL, is only going to get worse for schools to be able to control that. I mean, guys going to start getting agencies and all type of stuff, but it's deserving. I mean, those guys make a lot of money for the school, and so it's not. I mean, no other industry on the planet works where you make somebody all that money and as the talent, and you're not making, well, a lot of industries, but it's not done the right way. And plus with the NIL, not every college football player is that marketable. So it's not like thousands of college football players going to be having these crazy deals. It's really no different than any professional league. You're going to have the top 5 or 10% get something, and then, you'll have your crazy ones mixed in between. But I don't think it's as big as people are making it, only because, these are still companies that are looking to have good stock and value. So
Who were some investments and like partnerships that when you were playing, if this was past when you were playing, that you would have been invested in?
Man, just myself. I mean, be able to
Yeah.
throw camps and get paid for it with your name on it. I mean, that probably one of the easier things I could think of things that I wish I could have did more and didn't have an opportunity to in school. On the school thing is crazy too, because I didn't even know you can just not play your senior year to go.
Yeah, I didn't know that either.
I didn't know that was a possible thing. So, like I said, this NIL thing is driving it out of control, and the way it's going, it's probably going to be a club situation where schools are just going to have to pay club teams to have college football. So,
I wonder, did that guy Quinn Ewers, did he graduate from high school, or did he just forgo his senior year and not even get a high school degree?
I think it's a combination of graduating early and then you just sit out. I find it real. I didn't even. That's even more new than early pro league. I started seeing kids committing to high school, so this shit is it's really out of control. But I'm not in it no more. So.
Don't need to worry about it. My last question. I appreciate you for your time. What is the future looking like for Malik Zaire? Where do you see yourself going, and what is the ultimate dream?
Oh man, we're just going to continue to expand our influence and power, man, and build more projects that can help not only the football world but the university and other things that I'm doing, and establishing those relationships, man. And the more relationships you make, you fall into greater and better things. So, it's a lot out here to go after outside of sports, and finding that out every day in the real world.
That's awesome. Well, I appreciate you for your time. Thanks so much for doing this, bro. I appreciate it. It was nice meeting you too. Hope to keep in touch.
Yeah, absolutely, man. I love the podcast, and thanks for having me on.